thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. This week, very different for the channel actually, something completely new, and that is having a chit chat with a fellow YouTuber. This week, this might not be a regular segment, but I'll do a few in the future, I think. But this week we have a friend of mine called John Kerr. He has his own channel, which is walking, hiking, camping, local history. So it's a very outdoorsy channel. And we had a bit of a session talking to each other. I appreciate it's quite a long video, this one, but stick with it. It's actually hopefully quite enjoyable. And it's just us two having a chat. We placed 10 questions to each other, and this is how it panned out.
Hello, welcome to my channel. I hope you're all feeling strong and well. Today, me and Leonard, Leonard's a friend of mine, lives in Australia, used to live in Huddersfield. Why he left Huddersfield, I do know. But anyway, we're just tinkering about, really. We're just messing about with this, the idea of maybe live streaming. So this is a recorded live stream, and we just thought we might share it with you anyway, just to see what you think. Hopefully a little bit of chit chat about our channels and whatever else crops up. So we have prepared 10 questions each just to help with the flow of it. And the first question for Leonard, who has a channel called what's it called? Naked Bikers. Freaking hell. I mean, I knew. Yeah, Naked Bikers, and of course it's all about motorbikes. And you can see he's got a couple of bikes behind him there in his garage. So the first question for you, Leonard, is what inspired you to start your channel called The Naked Bikers?
Oh, that'll be from a few years back. About 5, maybe 6 years now. We were in Broome, which is north of Perth. I live in Perth, Western Australia, and Catherine and I, my wife, we were up there, and we actually went around Broome with a guy who had a trike. So he was riding the thing. Neither of us could ride motorcycles at that time, and we jumped on the back of him, and we did a tour. It was a proper tour, you know. It wasn't just some guy ambling by and we just said, can we jump on? So we had about an hour on the back of this trike, went everywhere, and it felt really good. So I said to Catherine when we came back home, how about us learn to ride? And she said, well, I've always wanted to do that, which I never knew she did. So that surprised me. Anyhow, we learned to ride, and once we passed, I started recording our rides, videos for like family and friends. And then I thought, well, other people might have an interest in this sort of thing. So I created the Naked Bikers channel, and Catherine and I would ride out, going to various places, and we'd take it from there. So that was sort of the inspiration to do that, and to where we are today. Catherine does not ride out as often as she used to do. She sort of gets busy doing other things as well. But yeah, it's something that we've enjoyed doing, and I still continue to do so.
Well, it's good to have the joint interest into it. That's a really good thing. And we miss Catherine on the rides, so let's get Catherine out on a couple of rides.
I'll try.
Yeah. So I think it's your turn.
Let me grab my piece of paper here, Rob. It's extremely small print as well, so if I get it wrong,
have you got a question for me, Leonard? Have you got a question?
Yes, I do. I do. Yes, I do. If you could travel anywhere in the world, Rob, where would you go to do a wildlife vlog?
Where would I go to do a wildlife vlog? Well, I think it would be to see wolves, and I think I would choose Canada. I think Canada would be probably the spot to go. It'd be expensive, but yeah, it'd be something like that. I'd like to see wild wolves. You can see them captive. I think in the UK, I think there's some places you can go and see captive wolves, you know, but that's just like dogs. They come up, you stroke them, and, you know, they're wagging their tails, and it's just like, you know, it's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same as seeing them wild. I like to see them wild, but that is, you know, you can go all that way, and these guides can take you out. I've read about it. They can take you out, and you could pay all that money and just go unlucky we've not seen
Yeah,
them tonight, and then next night not see them, hear them howling, but not see them. There's a chance that you wouldn't even see them, so they can't guarantee.
No.
So that'd be a long way to go to not see them, but that's what I would like to do. And I guess I'd have to hire some decent equipment to take with me. I won't be taking my little camera. I'd need something decent.
Yeah, yeah. Well, don't spoil anything. I think I've got some questions later on about cameras and things. So,
all right.
Do you have anything else to add to that?
No, that's where it'd be, something like that, something quite extreme, like Canada and the wolves. Yeah, fancy that.
What time of year?
I think the most dramatic would be this in the snow.
Yeah.
Surely they're easier to track.
I was just thinking, actually, being more dramatic, seeing you slip and slide down the mountains in the snow. That's what I thought you meant.
Yeah. Yeah, and then get eaten alive
by wolves.
Yeah. So I've got another question for you, Leonard, about your channel. How do you choose the locations and routes for your rides? Is there any particular types of scenery that you sort of prefer?
It's a bit tricky here in WA, actually, because picking places to go to, it's nothing like in the UK here. So we have a lot of small country towns, and to actually enjoy a ride out is actually to go into the country. So it takes a wee while to get there, and they're very spaced out, these towns. So they're all quite small and quite not highly populated as well. So picking places to go, which is of sort of interest, isn't easy. I try and go with somewhere where it has a bit of history or some heritage, something like that. And we'll just ride, sometimes just randomly. I'll just see somewhere on a map and then ask Catherine when she does come, do you want to go to so-and-so place? And we'll just go. I actually do use some sat-navs as well, where I try to, picking roads as such, our roads actually aren't too bad here in WA. So I'll pick a road, basically what the sat-nav tells us to go on. And I have two sat-navs I tend to use. So I'll use like Google Maps, which is pretty much everyday standard. And I also have an app which is called Kalimoto. I've had I wouldn't say love-hate relationship, more hate relationship with Kalimoto. I think it's because that thing's designed to actually go down twisty, windy roads, which that's what you want when you're on a motorcycle, really. Unfortunately, our roads here in WA, they're quite straight, so not many twisty roads. So with that, I'll put the Kalimoto twisted roads in. I've actually paid for this as well. It's a premium app to get twisted roads in there. I didn't think about it properly, really, because I could have saved a bit of money and not got the one with twisted roads for our non-twisted roads. But I'll pick that out and see what it takes us as well. So that's like our route picking in a way, location wise. Like I said, just somewhere with a little bit of heritage, or somewhere quite scenic, or somewhere where there is some definite history as well. Yeah.
Do you think people are still listening? Do you think people are still do you think me and you at this point are on our own?
They probably turned off after question one, or even may not even got to question one, mate. So, but we'll keep rolling on.
If there's 2 or 3 viewers just hanging on, watching, at this point, they've decided they're not watching anymore.
So maybe we add on his own then.
Right, okay, let's carry on.
All right, question 2 for you. There aren't any unknown creatures apart from Nessie in the UK, the Loch Ness. Is there a country with a legendary or mysterious creature you'd like to go and visit?
So I'm doing a lot of travelling here. Been to Canada to see wolves, and now I'd be going to Ireland for sure. To be sure, I'd be going to Ireland because it'd be leprechauns, wouldn't it? So I get me 3 wishes. It's a no-brainer.
Okay.
Leprechaun Island. That's what I'd be doing. Yeah.
And talking of wishes, then, would you be happy enough to tell us what those 3 wishes would be, or are they secret?
Maybe for my channel to just go boom, so that I can earn plenty of money from Google. That's the last.
Okay.
That's the last viewer gone. Yeah, the other ones are definitely private. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
that's fair enough.
But 3 wishes, you know, it's good. It's good to have 3, and one of them would be to, yeah, for my channel to go boom. Because I mean, you know, have you watched it?
No. No, I do. I've watched. I do watch every single one. Actually,
Only
I know you
'cause
don't
you know
watch all
me.
mine. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
Out of pity. I mean, out of being a friend and all that.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I've always wondered who it is, but thank you.
It's me.
Yeah.
But I suppose it is a legendary, or is a leprechaun folklore then? Would it? It's Irish folklore, isn't it?
Yeah. They're not real. They're not real.
They're not.
No, they're not real.
Oh, okay.
Same as fairies. Fairies are not real. Fairies are not real, Leonard.
No, they are, because I definitely know they are. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So I've got a question for you, Leonard. I think I'm on question 3 for you.
Yep.
So, can you just tell us a little bit about your process for filming these rides? What equipment and what setup do you use? Because it's quite interesting. I've seen online, because I watch your channel, I get recommendations because I'm a bit of a gear geek. I also get recommendations for the motor vlogging setups, and everyone's got their own little, you know, I've mastered it, or this is the perfect motor vlogging setup. I've connected my GoPro to my back of my head, and and all this carry on. But it seems to be a bit of a thing, perfecting this, which seems really simple to me, but I'm sure it isn't as simple as we think.
No, it's tricky actually. So yeah, my setup is pretty much the standard moto vlogging setup. So usually one camera facing out to the road, another camera facing in to me, and that's about it. I do have a third camera which I very rarely use, but the standard is like that as I explained. I don't really, so I record separate audio as well. So when I record the whole setup, it takes a bit longer to do because I have to sync the audio to the video, which means that I actually have to then make sure I get the appropriate frame rates per second for the audio. I found out that I've had issues. I know this is a bit techie, but I suppose it's a techie question you've asked, but I sometimes, or in the past, I've recorded at 4K at 60 frames per second. Don't know why. I don't really need to do any slow-mo or anything like that, but I used to do that. Not for very long, because I realized that when I was doing the separate audio, it'd start out off in sync, obviously. It'd be perfectly
drifting,
fine,
yeah.
and then it just starts to just drift. So I've realized that for me, anyhow, when I record audio separately, 24 frames per second, I have a Zoom Field 2 recorder, field recorder, and that works well, and that is 32-bit float. I don't know if you've heard of that, or I suppose you do. You have a DJI mic too, don't you? So that's still the same technology. That's really useful. So the times where you can post-edit stuff, so when you're recording, if it slightly clips or anything, you can just bring it down and mess around with it. Whereas if you bake your audio straight into your video, if that's ruined by anything, wind, or you're shouting, or it's too loud, it's too much gain on it, anything like that, then it's just a wreck. So that's my safeguard in a way, to keep them separate. So that's what I tend to do. I film usually now, 4K, 24 frames per second. I used to film at 2.7K. I just think I try and get obviously a bit more quality in a 4K video. Setup wise, as long as I make sure I take chargers with me, or I've got my batteries charged up, I'm all right. Sometimes I have the odd failure where, I've definitely once thought I had everything together, got to where I was going, got the audio going, and then realised my battery was flashing for the audio like it's just about to die. So no
Yeah.
video.
Yeah, it happens to best of us, that, doesn't it? Loads of times I've been out, when I got back, no audio. But anyway, enough about GoPro.
I'll be talking about GoPro,
Yeah.
I think, in a later on, actually.
Right. Yeah, well, we'll leave that for then. So that's a reason for you to actually get the Rode Wireless Pro. Rode Wireless Pro, expensive, but that's what I'm talking through now, and that is, there's no way, you can't make it clip. If I shout really loud like that, really loud, it does not clip. You'll see there's been no alteration to that audio that you're hearing. It will not clip. It just sorts it out. So yeah, it does work. So you don't have to worry about.
Well, funny thing is, that Zoom, that field recorder, that's supposed to do the same thing, but there has been times, I mean, one time I tested it and it was perfectly fine, and then another time I did the same thing. I raised my voice, dropped it, raised my voice, and it was actually clipping it a little bit. So hence I was actually able to bring it down a little bit. But there's some controversy, actually, isn't it, about these things, because the float sort of technology, it's not designed as such to eradicate clipping. Some people say it's a load of nonsense that you expect it not to clip by buying these type of recorders, because potentially they can clip, and I've actually found that out as well. I won't go as far as saying, you know, there's no need for them, because like you've just proven, you know, yours is perfect. I'm assuming that as we're recording this.
So am I. next time we're talking, I'll be saying, well, I got rid of the Rode Wireless Pro.
Yeah, rubbish.
it let me down. Yeah.
Right, well, I've got a question 3 for you. Where did the love of walking or rambling come from?
Well, that is my younger days, school days. I used to sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, regularly enough, I used to get near school and then I would think to myself, I'm not going in today. Because it'd be sunny, or it might be snowy, or whatever. And one of them days where I just needed to go for a walk in the woods, go and explore. So I used to just turn around and set off to walk through the woods. And sometimes I would, halfway through the day, you know, I'd have no food with me, no water, no nothing. And sometimes I'd just fall asleep, sat next to a tree, just nod off there for a bit, and when I woke up, there'd be a fox walking across the field or something, you know, because I've been there so long. So, or deers and stuff like that, because I'd been asleep and stayed still for so long. I'd open my eyes and I'd be like, blimey, I can't believe that. So I kind of got into it just sort of by accident, really. And so I used to just go for a wander. But you're talking about all day, you know, all day out wandering around. Sometimes I used to think, well, I wish I'd gone to school now, because I'm a bit bored now. So, but I can't go in now. So,
and was this junior school or secondary school?
It was
infant school.
No, it was high school.
Okay.
High school, yeah. That was the only time I didn't go, because junior school I was taken to school. So, you know, you were dropped off right in the place. So there were no getting out then. But high school, made my own way to school. So
yep, same as me.
I thought to myself, yeah, well, I don't think I'm going in today. My friends used to say, where are you going? I used to I didn't even look back. I just carried on walking. So it comes from there, yeah, just wandering around, and the things that I saw, you know, wildlife, you know, amazing. So yeah, that's where it sort of comes from.
But you wouldn't have seen a wolf, would you, in the UK? Definitely not.
No, no, I never saw one.
Not then anyhow, because this is only 1980s, isn't it, we're talking about?
A few packs of dogs though. Back in the 80s, there was a thing called, and I'm sure you can put in the comments below if you know exactly what I'm talking about. Back in the 80s, we called them latchkey dogs, and people would go to work, and before they went to work, they'd just let dog out.
Yep.
And dog would be out all day, wandering around, and they would group together, form their own little packs in that on that estate or in that area, in that village. You'd have packs of dogs roaming around, and if you came across them, you could be in trouble. So yeah, that's as close to wolves as I've got. Yeah. There was one time when I was really little. I'll have been maybe 6-year-old, and my mum had bought me a full cowboy outfit, right? Hat, guns, holsters, belt, sheriff badge. I even had chaps on. Don't comment about that. I still got them, but you can edit that out. Anyway, I'm getting comments. Did I tell you, Len? I'm going a bit off here, but I've been getting some comments on my channel. I did a review of them boots, them Berghaus boots. Yep. And this guy put at the end of it, he put John Inman's review of hiking boots. Because
John Inman,
a little bit camp, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I thought it was funny. John Inman. I mean, that's an era thing, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And
are you being served?
That's it. That's the one. Yeah.
Are you being served? Yeah. I'm free. So, yeah. So I get some good comments like that, but yeah. So I had this cowboy outfit all ready, and I felt like I was John Wayne, and I walked out of house, guns either side with caps in, red cap, rolls of caps in, silver guns. Stepped out of house, and there was this blooming dog there, just on its own, from further up road, and it was an aggressive dog, it was growling at me. I come walking out, I turned straight around crying, went straight back inside.
Hard cowboy.
John Wayne wouldn't have done that. John Inman would.
Yes. Very good.
So yeah, that's about it. I forgot what I was saying before that, but yeah, that's as close to wolves as I've got.
Question 4, I think we're on.
Yeah, and it's question to you. Question 4. How do you stay updated? How do you stay updated on the latest motorcycle technologies, and which recent tech developments do you find most exciting?
I suppose watching other motor vlogging YouTube channels, really, to keep me up to date. If there's anything new coming out, you guarantee someone's going to be talking about it or reviewing it or something. So that's probably the easiest and quickest way as well, just to find that sort of stuff out. I'm a bit tight. I don't buy any subscriptions to magazines, for like motorcycle magazines or anything like that. So yeah, from YouTube, really. What tech excites me? Well, there's a couple of things, I suppose. There's and it's now coming into motorcycles, there is adaptive cruise control. So not just cruise control, but adaptive. So when you're behind a vehicle, and obviously this stuff's on, if that vehicle slows down or speeds up, it just keeps that safe distance, and you're not having to obviously come out of cruise control because you're braking to then reset it again to carry on. So that's going to be really, really good. Not many bikes have it as yet, but that's going to be coming through on a lot of bikes. I'm a bit on the fence in relation to this sort of tech, which is I think they call it head-up display or something for motorcycles, for the helmets.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know. This technology now, what they're building into that, so it's all incorporated into a helmet, and when you look through the visor, you do see a display of like maybe your speed or a sat nav. You know, it's going to map out where you're going. So that's going to be pretty good for not having to look down, let's say, on a sat nav, like your iPhone or whatever, or your sat nav item. So you're not having to take your eyes off the road. But then again, it depends how much information they put on there as well, because if they overdo it, then you're going to get distracted. So you're going to be obviously taking your eyes off the road and watching whatever's going off almost in front of your eyes that way.
It sounds good to me. I have driven a car with heads-up display. It was a Lexus, that had a heads-up display. It was just like a perspex type thing that you just flipped up, and you could see it, and it worked well. And I'm guessing that, you know, we've got all this Google Glass and stuff like that coming out, haven't we? And Apple goggles, and I don't know where we're going with all this, but I'm assuming that all that information on your visor is going to be all around the edges, isn't it? It's not like,
it seems to be,
in your face. You're not looking through it. You'll be reading all around, won't you? I think that's what it'll be like.
But it depends how much they want, because they obviously, technology companies, they can put anything in there, you know, like your elevation, the speed, you know, weather. So maybe even warnings ahead of you that it's mapping, that it can see there's an issue or traffic jams or whatever. So if it's not information overload, I'm all for it. I know you probably could maybe switch things off, turn things on, so you just have what you want to have on, customizable. But no, you don't want too much information, I don't think.
I know what you mean. My car doesn't have like a modern screen in it, but it's got enough information there. But I was recently driving a hire van, a Ford, and it's got this beautiful screen, and it's bigger than this iPad, you know, right in front of you, in middle at dash, and it's got everything on it, right through social media, YouTube, the lot, video, and then, you know, there's also the vital information of the vehicle as well, you know, all in there. But predominantly, it's letting me know that, you know, I can watch YouTube, or I can watch, you know, all sorts of videos. Well, I think that is a mistake.
Well, yeah.
I don't know whether I don't know whether it would let me do it. I couldn't be bothered messing about with it, but I'm kind of assuming that it wouldn't let me watch a video if I was driving. It would know the vehicle's moving. Surely it wouldn't let me watch a video on there.
So does that thing tilt? Like if it tilts towards the passenger?
No, it was fixed.
Yeah. Okay.
It was fixed.
So I was thinking if it could tilt and it knew then it was tilted towards the passenger, they could watch. And if it was tilted towards you, then it would just not engage. But it probably wouldn't. It probably wouldn't then, because obviously you can't be watching
I suppose,
football, match of the day or whatever, and driving.
But maybe the argument for that would be, well, people stick their phones there, they could watch a video on the phone, so what's the difference, you know?
Well, yeah. I suppose you wouldn't want to add to it. I mean, if someone wants to do that, then it's on them, isn't it? A car manufacturer putting that in, not the best idea, I don't think. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. So I'll move on to your question. What question are we on, Leonard?
I think it's 5. Was it 4?
I think we're on 5 for you.
So yeah, I've got a question 4.
Right, for me.
All right. Question 4 for you. Have you had any spooky or weird experiences whilst off camera? Well, even on camera, if so, but off camera as well.
Spooky experiences? Well, yeah, I have. Sometimes in videos, I've sort of joked about stuff, like the one, and I joked that there was an old house behind me, a really old house, derelict, and there was a window behind me, and I kind of joked that there was a woman in there, an old woman in the window. I
remember that one, yeah.
And I just came to me, and I thought I would just say it. I thought, well, I might edit it out if it's not funny. But of course it was hilarious, because I am hilarious. And so I joked about it, but then I was totally spooked out. I made this story up of my own, and then I was like, God, what did I say that for? So
Yeah.
kind of spooked myself out a bit. But there was one on the Robin Hood video that I did. How did Robin Hood actually die? That video, and that is, believe it or not, that's my most watched video. It's been up there for a few years now. I think it's successful just because it's about Robin Hood. You know, when I look at it, I don't think it's a great video, but it's just a subject matter. So it's interesting, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
What makes a good video. But when I was in the woods there, which are steeped in history and spookiness, there's been a few deaths in there and all this over years. And this nun's supposed to have committed suicide in the brook there. All sorts gone on. But when I was walking through, and I was trying to make it a little bit like the anticipation of getting towards where the grave was, and but there was this noise in the bushes, and it was sort of like it was, I didn't quite know what it was, whether a person or whatever. It was a strange noise that hadn't really come up, and it was very close, felt very close, and quite loud. And I thought, what the hell is that? I thought it would be picked up definitely on the microphones as I'm going through with my camera, and when I played it back, you couldn't hear it, which made it even more spooky. When I got back, I thought, you can't even hear that, that was so loud. But I think that it now I think it was a deer, but I didn't know at the time because I never knew deers made that kind of noise. But having done some of the wildlife and stalking the deers, deer was sort of barking at me, and then it made some other noises, and I thought, that's that noise. So
recognised it.
I think it was a deer. But yeah, it was quite spooky there, and I had to carry on with. I'd got halfway into this vlog doing it, so I couldn't think, oh, sod it, I'm off home. I'm too frightened to do the rest of the vlog.
Doing a runner.
Yeah, because you're in the middle of the woods, you know. Once you get a bit spooked, it's unnerving. You know, you're talking into the camera, and I'm thinking, there's something behind me. What the heck's going on? I always think sometimes that, you know, when I'm playing it back, when I'm editing it, can you imagine if you said, what's that behind me? And there was something there. Yeah. Imagine if there was just like a person just walked across.
Yeah, just
a bit further back. I were gonna get someone to do that once. Yeah. Just come out just to do that. So I dressed in like a black cloak or something, but right in background, and just walk across and just say nothing. And some viewers say, what was that? Yeah.
You get some more views that way, I suppose.
Yeah. It is good to build up a bit of suspense on some of the videos, though. It's good, because that's how it actually feels sometimes when you walk into these places. You know. So yeah, I've definitely been
scared
spooked.
Yourself.
Yeah, mainly myself. Yeah.
Is it your question 6? Is it?
Yes, it is my question. Yeah. Is it 6 or is it 5?
You check your list.
So it's number 5, and over the course of creating your channel, what's been the most memorable ride and why?
I wouldn't say I have memorable rides as such, more like favourite videos, if that is allowed.
Yeah.
There's one video I did, New Norcia. A New Norcia is about an hour and a half drive easterly out into the sticks, and that's an old monastic town. I think in the late or early 1800s it was first constructed. There's a chap from Spain, I think he was, being a monastic monk, came over here, wanted to introduce Catholicism here, and set about building this monastery. But later down the track, when have you heard of the stolen generation here in Australia, about the Aboriginal folk group?
I think I have heard a little bit about it, but yeah, I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, there's a lot of kids, native kids, were just taken away from the mum and dads, the families, all for the good for themselves, really, so they could get an education, so they thought. And this particular place, yeah, it's a bit dark, really, but they were basically abused, these children. They weren't educated particularly well. They weren't always looked after very well. There was a front that they were looked after. So any top bodies from Perth would pay a visit. Obviously, it'd be organised. They'd get the more healthier kids to be like presentable, and they'd obviously have these people showing that they were looking after them, but really they weren't. So a lot of these kids ran away, and obviously they'd run away back home, wouldn't they? So, but as they were trying to run away back home, they just get picked up again and taken back. So it's that's a very historical town, and I'd been there in the past and never knew about that particular element to it. I just went firstly just to admire like the architecture. It's a nice place. It's like, yeah, it's just obviously very, very different to any other town you'd see in Perth, really, or around Perth. But I learned of its sort of darker past. Went back and did a video, actually, that new Norcia video. If we can somehow link these vids for like a link or something, Rob, if we can do that. If you can drop them into yours or whatever, we'll do something like that. But that was I enjoyed telling that story as such. I know you do, obviously, your tales of history and stuff. So I think in a way, seeing your videos, I thought I ought to maybe try and do something historical with one of mine, say. So that's what I did for one of them. I actually did another one on a lighter note, which is quite enjoyed. It was can I track my motorcycle with an Apple Airtag or something like that with a friend of mine?
Yeah,
so
I found that interesting.
Yeah, that was good. That was good fun to put together. Yeah,
I found that quite interesting. Yeah, I watched that one because I was just wondering about them tags. Yeah, like if I thought, well, would you know if you're being tracked? Because it's against the law to track someone without them knowing. You can't just track someone.
I mean, well, that's it. My setup was the Apple AirTag is on my motorcycle, and then he rode my motorbike wherever he wanted to go within about a 20-minute area, and then I just checked on my phone. They'll find my, and then obviously I found him. I tracked my bike. Wasn't tracking him as such, but the thing is, they do sell those AirTags as like a security element, so you can track if you've lost something. But I think it can only do it for something like roughly. They don't say a specific time, but I think Apple have set it for around about 12 hours. So after 12 hours, I think that thing would start pinging or making, because it pops up on your phone, doesn't it? I think it says, "Are you aware? This is near you." Yeah,
that's what I found out. I know what you mean. It wouldn't be immediate, but you would actually know. So they've built it in so that, like, I could search for tags now, and they'd pop up, and then I found out that actually your phone would tell you, wouldn't it? It'd say you seem to be being tracked by this tag, and of course normally you go, yeah, well, I know which one it is, I put it there, or my friend put it there, we know which one that is. But if it were one that you didn't know, you didn't recognize it, all you would do there is you can block it, and it can no longer track you. You don't even have to find it. You don't even have to find the thing. You can just block that tag.
That's good then, because I mean, what we did was a bit of fun, but it was also slightly serious, because you can buy a subscription for a tagging device, like a tracking device. So you subscribe whatever money, and then you've got something on your bike, and then obviously it relays that information to a server, etc., and it tracks your bike. And then obviously if it does get stolen, then you'd know where it would be. But I just thought this would be a cheaper alternative, about $50, and give it a go. So yeah, I had some success with it. I did find my mate. If you anyone watch the video, it didn't run smoothly. So there'll be a link somewhere along here if you want to watch it after this chit chat. But that was quite good. But it didn't run that smoothly. So it's not an ideal fix as such, really. If you're very serious about tracking your motorcycle or a car, don't use an Apple AirTag.
Yeah. Right. Well, is it Me or you?
It's me, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're getting lost.
Yeah.
It's question 5, isn't it? You've asked me question 5 there,
Yeah.
and it's my turn to ask you. Yeah.
And if you're still watching, what's wrong with you?
Because we don't know what we're doing.
I'll just remind you, all that me and Leonard are doing here is we are just testing out the idea of doing some content like this with each other, and maybe some other people involved in it as well. Just to see how this live streaming goes, or recorded live chats go. So that's all we're doing here. And if you are still watching, yeah,
thank you.
Get a life.
All right. Well, this is slightly different. Question 5 for you is: I have watched all your videos, Rob, and so I do know, what goes on. I've noticed that you're nervous around cows. So have you always been nervous around cows? And if so, why?
Yeah, nervous around cows. I definitely am, and everybody should be nervous around cows, because cows are dangerous. And people laugh at me. They say, well, I just walked through a field full of cows and it's never happened to me, no bad's ever happened to me. Well, so have I. I walked through cows. It's not a problem. I walked through cow fields when I was on my way to school. Not all the way to school. So I turned around and went into the woods. But, I walked through a cow field and no bother. I'm not absolutely petrified of them. But if I were like cornered, or, they come over to you, or sometimes you get through the field and they're all congregated around the stile that you need to go over. You've got to move them, and they don't want to move. And if they decide to get around you, they'll drop you, no problem, and then just trample you,
That's it. Yeah, or crush you. Yeah, they could crush you. Yeah,
they're dangerous. They are the most dangerous animal. They're in the top 10, but I think they are the most dangerous animal in the UK anyway. Wow. Since some, I think there's a statistic, and it's in the past, maybe in the past 10 years, nearly 100 people have been killed by cows in this country.
Can't you just run off? Can't you just run away from them?
Well, I used to think that you would be able to, but I have seen cows set off down fields and stuff like that, and it looks like a big lummoxing, heavy, awkward animal, but the ground they are covering is unbelievable. And that's your Frisian cows with big udders and been carrying all that around. But when you get into a field with young bullocks, blimey, they can shift. Yeah. So they're dangerous. But generally, it'll be when there's calves. That's when they are the most dangerous. And nearly every animal is around, when they've got their young. You see geese. Geese don't back off. Yeah. So I think everyone should be wary of cows. The most dangerous animal. We've got a few other pretty dangerous. We've got adders, haven't we, here? Nasty bite. There is something I've read about, and it's that spider that you've got over there, that little
funnel web.
Yeah, there's a spider here, and it's I think I wrote it down. It's a false. No, it must be black widow. It's a false. Do you have the black widow over there?
Not that I know of. No.
Funnel web there, isn't it?
Yeah, funnel web.
So it's a false widow spider. So that must be it. It looks like a black widow. The black widows are quite a big thing, isn't it?
It is, but also they kill the male, don't they? Once they mate, they'll kill the male straight away, won't they? The black widow, hence the name. But if it's a false one, does that mean they don't kill them?
It's a bit like you get a false wasp, can't you? You know, it's not a wasp. It's actually not a wasp.
Is it a hornet?
Fake. It's a fly of some kind, but it looks just like a wasp.
Right.
So that other animals leave it alone. You know, there's a few things like that. But we've got one. It's called a false widow spider, and apparently it's got a really nasty bite, but nothing like a black widow. So. Yeah, we've got that.
Can I just jump in and just try and put the record straight a little bit as well? Because when you say where you're from or where you do live, and I'll say Australia, straight away it's like, oh, everything's trying to kill you over there, isn't it? No, I'm still here.
Well,
no.
You don't go wandering off though, do you?
Well, I'm careful.
when I came over there, I thought that, I looked it up, I thought, yeah, what stuff can hurt you, what stuff can kill you in Australia. I was reading for quite a while. And
well, there's a few things, yeah.
When you took us to see the kangaroos, that were funny. But you took us to see kangaroos, and my dad was alive then, and he would always... So he knew I wandered off and stuff, you know, like to explore. When I were going over to see you to Australia, my dad said, "And don't you go wandering off." He was Irish. He says, "Don't you go wandering off into the outback and getting yourself killed now." So he's saying that to me, and I thought, what I'd do is, I'll go into off-piste out of this park, because what park were it? King's Park? Was it King's?
Yeah, there was King's. There was also Pinaroo I took you to as well, where the kangaroos were.
Ah, so well, it would have been that one, that Pinaroo, right? So I went off, you know, out of the park a bit into what looked just like the outback, because it was all unkempt, you know, this sort of bush area. I walked in there and I said to my lass, I'm just going to go in here and wander into the thick of it, and then I recorded myself sort of sweating and saying I'm a little bit lost, but just letting you know, Dad, I'm having a good time in Australia. I thought it'd be funny. And when I wandered into this thick undergrowth, I'm not joking, I only got a few strides in and the trees were trying to kill me. Everything had spines yes. on it. Yeah, I came out with these two marks on my leg, looked like a snake bite, but it wasn't. It were trees and bushes.
Yeah, the grasses. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
yeah, you got to be careful.
To us over here, it seems, you know, if you got alligators, crocodiles, of course you got crocodiles. Yeah, Dundee. I should have known that. So we were on about crocodiles and stuff. Well, me and Sheila, we fell asleep on grass next to this sort of like creek, this river thing, and we woke up and we thought to ourselves, what are we playing at? But there were probably no crocodiles there, but we were thinking, yeah, before we set off, we were really concerned about this stuff, and then we just had a nice snooze by the river.
Forget it all. Yeah. No crocs here in Perth. No, not safe. Yeah. What we got now then?
Yeah, we're getting through it now. So I think it's me, is it?
Yes.
Right. So I've got a question for you. So you often discuss bike tech during your rides. What's the one piece of technology that you think every biker should have?
I think really any mid-sized bike, sort of around about 600 onwards, they should have cruise control, definitely. It's just, to me, it's quite a safety element to have. Some people might not like cruise control, which is fair enough, but to me, you'll get to fatigued. So when you're with the throttle on the right hand and you're going for quite a time, to me, and I don't have any medical problems with my hands, but you get a bit cramp. You can get a bit crampy in your
Yeah.
hand. And if you're going for a long ride, especially like I was saying earlier, you know, when it takes a while to ride into the country and then ride round there, cruise control, that's just really good. I mean, that's an element of something that you definitely need, really.
So yeah, cruise control. I wouldn't have ever thought of that on a motorbike. I use it in my car, and I think it really is a good safety feature. Cruise control, use it all the time, because you're not having to monitor what speed whether you're exceeding the speed limit or anything like that. And the first thing you're going to do really is brake, which knocks. I assume it would knock it off. Same.
It does, yeah.
In a car, yeah. And I think if you accelerate, really punch it, I think it also knocks it off, doesn't it?
Well, not that I've noticed. You can accelerate. Well, I mean, I don't really accelerate hard anyhow. But if you accelerate, all it does is you pick your speed
come
up.
back down.
That's it. Once you come off the throttle, it just comes back down to that preset speed.
Yeah.
See, some people will quite like cruise control just for the cameras here, and maybe in the UK as well, the speeding cameras. So if you can set your cruise control around the speed you should be travelling, you shouldn't be getting tickets then. I mean, that's a very controversial thing. I don't want to get involved with, really.
They tried to get us so that we couldn't see where my TomTom tells me where all the speed cameras are. They didn't like that, but it's got to be public information where all these things are. So that's a good thing. I think it's safe, a safety feature for us to know where they are. And I set my cruise control on the motorways here. It's 70 mile an hour. And I can set my car at 77 mile an hour, and in reality I'm doing 72 mile an hour. Okay. Which is within the buffer.
It's about right, that. So
so I can fly along at 77 mile an hour on my dash, and I got through speed cameras and never got a ticket. So that was actually question 7, Leonard, and I missed number 6. So you get to go again. So question 6 is safety is crucial on the motorcycles, and so what safety tips, practices do you emphasize most in your videos?
I suppose for one is I don't speed, so I always try and ride within the speed limit. I don't really give any safety tips out as such, because like, who am I to give safety tips to, in a way? I'm not a qualified rider as such, apart from passing my riding test, but I don't hold any professional qualifications. Got to be careful with things like that, I suppose. What I do is call out bad driving, and a few times I have to say something about the bad drivers here in Perth. Either they're driving too slow, too fast, or they're just not paying attention. So there's a few times
is that generally car drivers?
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Obviously you get some bad riders, people on motorcycles, but most riders, again, of a certain age, probably ride how they should. Younger riders maybe not so. But just being on a motorcycle, I've had more incidents with, obviously, with people driving cars. Nothing scary, nothing dramatic, but just annoying. And basically, they just don't see you. Basically, when I actually went on a roundabout, I was on a ride going further north with Catherine, I think it was, and I came out on it's only a small little roundabout, nothing major. And as I just came out onto that roundabout, there's a car who thinks he can just come straight ahead of me. I have to stop on the roundabout, and then he goes round. So it's like he almost didn't see me, and that's what most people see in a car. Apparently, when you're driving a car, you're looking for other cars. Your brain is looking for other cars. So hence, they're looking for a car. They don't see a car. They pull out. A motorcycle comes round, and then they say, "I didn't see you." So it's sort of a valid excuse in a way, because the brain is not. It's programmed to look for cars when you're car driving, in a way.
Well, my son has passed his full test recently. He's got a lovely bike, a Kawasaki 650, beautiful bike. By the way, what bikes have we got behind you there, Leonard, just for my viewers who are not one bit interested in motorcycles? but like I see that is a 900, is it?
Yeah, so this is the Triumph Tiger 900 Rally Pro.
Wow, looks
I used
good.
to have, it's a really nice bike, to ride. I do prefer the GT Pro, so this is a slightly off-road biased motorcycle. I don't go off-road, so
Right.
I'm not confident riding off-road anyhow. I just like this because it's more elevated, it's slightly higher than the GT Pro.
Right.
And yeah, a really nice bike to ride, but the GT Pro is smoother. I did used to have a GT Pro of this motorcycle, and I ran it into the back of my mate.
Yeah, I saw that.
Last September, I think it was, August, September last year. I might put a link into that one as well, but that wasn't fun. And that one, just in the background, if you can slightly see it, that's Catherine's motorcycle. So that's an MT-07. That's
Nice.
665cc or 655. It'd be 655. I think it's that. Basically, our motorcycles here, if it's over a certain power to weight ratio and over 660cc, then you need the bigger license. Catherine's falls under the other bracket, a lower bracket. So our license is RE. RE is one of the, let's say, 660 and below. Mine is the R open class, which means anything above 660. So, and that's. I just wanted to get a bigger bike.
They look like nice bikes, yeah.
They're good.
So yeah, I was saying about my son. He's just passed his test and he's got this great bike. And when I were hearing you saying, you know, about safety tips that you maybe don't, you decide maybe not to give out. If you think of it in the scope of your son or your daughter or people's youngsters, because as you said, it's the youngsters that are getting it wrong, obviously, because they're less experienced. I think that you do have something to pass on, and they seem like really obvious, but they're not to the new rider. And even that video of yours where you crash into your friend, it's such an easy thing, isn't it?
One split second.
We do it all the time. I do it at roundabouts. You check in, and the person in front of you think they've gone, and they haven't gone. And lo and behold, when you, as soon as you straighten up and look at where you're going after looking over, boom, you're there.
That was ultimately bad timing, just perfectly bad timing, because it was one split second. I looked over to see, obviously, the oncoming road as we're approaching that, and as I just looked, that 1 second, he says, "Oh, on, Len, I'm still here." And as I look, well,
yeah, that's it. But something that to see it, you know, you could take that clip out and do a little safety, you know, don't make this.
How not to ride.
One of the most common mistakes made at junctions, biker or car driver. You know, anyone could do that one, and but there's loads. There must be loads of little things that you know. If I was giving advice to my son as a young bike rider and me as a car driver, I think it's really good when a motorcyclist is coming alongside. They're going to sneak down. I'm in slow moving traffic and keep stopping starting. The motorcyclists have the luxury of being able to go down, right down, and get to the front of the queue.
Filtering, yeah.
And some drivers, I see them move over and block them out. I don't know what's going on in their heads. Let these guys get to the front. They're on a motorbike. Get them out at way. You know, far better acceleration, and you nip through. So I make the gap for them. I'm always a little bit gutted when I don't see them. I've come to a stop and they come. I see headlight coming down. I think, oh, they're not going to be able to get past me. They're going to think I'm alright. You know. So, but what I think is good is when they're behind you and they make a movement that makes me to sort of say, I am here, you know, you've spotted me, haven't you? You've actually spotted me, you know, before they go past, because sometimes they approach that fast. I've just done my mirror check for that few seconds, and within that when I'm then they're coming, and blimey, it doesn't half make you jump.
Yeah, it does.
They pass you, but sometimes they slow up behind and they make a movement to make themselves seen. It's a handy little thing to do, because I can tell you as a car driver, we don't always see you. You were saying it yourself. I'm looking for other cars, you know, and cyclists, you know, push bikes is even worse. Worse. You literally can't see them. You know, they should have lights on during the day. But yeah, just that little move sometimes when they're behind you, and then make you overtake. Because a lot of times I just wind my window down and I just put my hand out and say, yeah, get past, you know.
One good thing, Rob, one good thing is
I did say wind my window down. I'm aware of that.
Yes, yeah. You press the button. Yeah.
How old is
press the button. But yeah, one thing is with technology, just as a another thing, I suppose, it's the technology in cars as well. So with the blind spot technology as well. So on the car, if something's on your blind spot, isn't it? That's it. That's good as well. So again, if there's a motorcyclist coming up in your blind spot or another car, obviously, it picks it up and bleeps, doesn't it? So that's a good thing.
It's good technology, yeah. But remember, Leonard, my car, I have to wind my window down.
Exactly.
So I don't have that technology.
It's a Robin Reliant, if anyone knows what a Robin Reliant is. Yellow as well.
Yeah. Del Boy's car. Right, what question are we on now?
7, I think.
You've had 7, so is it 8?
No, it's my 7, because you've asked me 6 and 7, but I haven't asked you 7, and then we're back on track then.
Okay.
All right. So, and I genuinely mean this as well, you're braver than me for going out and camping and doing your wild camping and all that lot. I know you've sort of stopped doing it, but are you thinking of starting going off wild camping again from some time?
Wild camping, that was a great experience, and that probably lets you know that is over.
All right, next question.
Yeah, you could choose to do that if you wanted. Yeah, wild camping, that was a great experience, but I've thought about, I look out onto moors sometimes, I think it's a great evening, it'd be great to be up there, and I've still got the equipment. I've got about 3 small tents. I've even still got my little Rab Ridge Raider, which is a little bivvy, and yeah, I could do it any time. And there's probably a reason I've kept that stuff, because I might just do the odd one nighter. Yeah, I've definitely thought about it, but it's grueling. It's grueling, especially the multi-day, you know, doing it. It's grueling. Wrong side of 50 to be doing anything like that, really. But I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the whole experience of even being able to just do it once. That was the beginning of it. It just caught my eye. I'd seen a few videos on wild camping, and I thought, wow, I'm going to do that. And then I realised, actually, I'm too frightened to do it. You know, just
I wouldn't do it.
Being on your own, and there's not really to fear, but it's just a thing. And I thought, when I realised that I didn't have the courage to do it, it then got into me. I thought, come on now. So I had to sort of get myself, you know, I had a few failures going out and going, oh no. And one time I went out thinking this is going to be my first one, and as I got to where I was going to pitch, again, I hadn't checked out where I was going to pitch. I thought I'd just wander around and find somewhere. That's not a thing. You have to actually know where you're going to pitch, because you're searching for somewhere good and it's all heather and rough and boggy and what have you. But I'd searched around and I found this spot. By this time, sun were coming down, nearly down. It were getting a bit late, and all these big white owls were flying around and perching on the fence posts, and it were like, well, it wasn't like Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, but it had an eerie feel to it, and there were these sheep. I could hear the sheep crying, and really, you know, desperate sound from this sheep. And anyway, I abandoned the idea. I thought, this is just taking a spooky turn. These white owls all perching, so to watch, I don't know what. It was just weird. Massive things they were, and so I abandoned it. And actually, I'll leave a link to this video. As you say, these videos that we've mentioned, we must put them in the links below, because the people viewing now are going to be so keen to watch these videos.
Definitely, yep.
And anyway, I abandoned that, and I started making my way back to the car. I didn't have much time to get back before it got dark, and I found this. There was a lamb stuck with its head stuck in the fence. God knows how long it had been there. Its little horns were stuck in this barbed wire fencing.
No,
I don't know how long it had been there, and I freed it. But that's while the crying out was this lamb. So it must have been meant to be that I came across that thing. I freed it, and it went bounding off. So that made me feel a bit better. But yeah. The wild camping, good experience, and eventually, of course, did do my first one, and then rest is history. I did quite a few, and I enjoyed it, but I won't ever be doing many again, I don't think, no.
But maybe some other camping trips with your other half, maybe.
Yes, with all the experience of wild camping, when I bought myself one of these inflatable tents. So there's no poles or anything like that. You just pump it up, big tent, four berth tent. I nearly said 4-man, but I don't think we're allowed to do that now.
No.
So 4 berth tent, person tent. It's like glamping doing that compared to wild camping. Might have lasted a fair few with me, you know. Shoot game for that. So yeah, it's like you've got everything you need there. You know, you can stand up in the tent. Tents. I'm used to. You can't even. You're just on your knees. You know, you can't really stand up in these wild camping tents. They're so small. No. So we'll be doing some of that again. The just the normal camping with the big tent. But
good.
Yeah, watch this space. You know, I might just throw a wild camping.
All right, good.
Yeah.
I'll be watching it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of camping on on my channel. Okay, so it's we're getting through these questions now, and if you're still with us, do you think anyone's still watching, Leonard?
I was going to say, when you were saying about, we'll show the links to some of these videos, I was thinking nobody's watching at this point.
This is it, yeah. There will be someone watching, I can assure you. And if you are, I thank you. But yeah, if you are watching this, again, it is just a little experiment for this sort of content. So do put in your, do put in the comments section, you know, what you think of it, and any improvements, or if you've got a little setup for live streaming or recording live conversations, interviews like this. Let us know what your setup is. Just a nice simple setup. Yeah, because basically me and Leonard we're watching ourselves on our iPhones and recording separately on a camera each, and then we'll just share the footage. That's the way we're doing it, and I'm glad that we are, because the actual feed has cut out and glitched quite a few times over this conversation, which would have destroyed the video. So because it's done it every time I've been talking, so
no surprise then.
Right, so are we on question 8?
Yes.
Is it question 8? Yes. What challenges have you faced while managing your YouTube channel, and how have you overcome them?
That's quite a simple solution to that, which I'll get into. The challenges faced, really, it's the tech side of stuff. So you'll know, anyone who actually does this sort of stuff, videoing and then recording audio, either, as mentioned before, burning audio into your video or not, doing it separately. The tech you use, yeah, there's always something that's going to go wrong. The thing is, most of my issues and challenges were using GoPro products. I'm not going to bash GoPro too much. I've had a few of their cameras, and I've always had reliability issues with their software. When they work, they're good, but they just didn't work often enough, really. When I've also recorded audio, like I mentioned before, the odd time I've done it separately, and then I've also done it into the camera. I used to do it into the camera quite a bit when I had the GoPro, Rob. I had a media mod, and I'll say no more.
Yeah,
The media mod, I'd record something and then get back home, you know, we'd either ride out, whatever, and no audio. For some reason, that media mod would not record at times. The whole thing itself, because you had to obviously unscrew stuff, undo the media mod from its packaging, from, you know, the camera from the media mod, if you want to change a battery or do a reset or whatever. There's so many finicky things with the GoPro system. Was a bit of a joke, really. So I jumped onto the DJI products, and I've not sponsored, nothing like that. Everything's that I have, I've paid for, and yeah, they just work.
Yeah.
I've had no issue with any of my DJI products.
It's a brilliant.
They just work.
It's a brilliant concept that it works. It's
Simple,
brilliant. It's brilliant. It'll catch on. It'll catch on.
Yes.
Making a product, and you know when you say that it does this,
Yes.
that it does it. You know, you buy it and it does it,
and it works.
Yeah, it works. It's brilliant. I mean, DJI are onto something there. You know,
Yes, they
having
are.
a product that actually works. Yeah, when I was with the GoPro, I've had 4 media mods. Every one of them, the mic jack just failed on me.
They
so
do. Yeah.
I sent it back, and they just sent me a new one. Same thing happened. They sent me a new one. I didn't pay for it, but you know, I sent them back each time. I actually got fed up of that being the solution. Just send me another. What about you know, I have it for 6 months, and then I waste my time going out and doing a video, come back, because a couple of times there were videos I couldn't go back because they were maybe abroad or something like that. Couldn't go back and do it. So it wasn't. It seemed to be that their solution was, you know, just send them another one.
Yeah.
You know, that ain't a solution, is it? You know,
no.
And they also, you break it and we'll replace it. They had that rolled into the thing. It were broken when it arrived.
Yeah, we expect it's broken.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
but the whole system on the DJI with the actual, you know, the clamp, you know, that magnetized system. Yeah, it's just genius as well. It's simple and it works, and it's fast, isn't it? You can flick a camera onto, like on the bike, you see. I could actually have one or multiple of these things, you know, on a stand, and then just flick a camera all around the bike, you know. So really good.
Yeah, they are good. Yeah,
so
it's changed a lot.
Sticking with them.
DJI are going to be, you know, I've heard some people say, should other camera companies be afraid of DJI? I've heard that said. I think they should. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what question are we on now, Leonard?
I think we're going to be on number 9. And let me ask this question to you then. Yeah?
Yeah.
Me to you? What's that? What was that?
Chuckle Brothers. Chuckle
Yes,
Brothers.
that was yes. Me to you. You to me.
Yeah. There's only one now. One of them's passed, hasn't it?
Yes. Sadly. Right then. So you have you actually do quite a bit of photography on your channel as well. So I know you like your cameras. You've had 1,000,001 of them.
God, yeah.
How many times do you buy a product and send it back to Amazon to get another one to send it back? The carbon footprint is all down to you, mate. I'm serious.
It's a disease. It's a disease that I've got. It's called gear envy. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
You just see something. You see something new.
And you want that one.
A newer version, and I'm like, oh, blooming it. But I am getting better. You know, I'm
good. It's working for you then. The therapy's
working. I've had a word. Oh no, sorry. My lass has had a word. She's had a word with me, and yeah, I'm getting better. Bags the same.
That's good.
You know, backpacks. I've got that many backpacks. Unreal. You know, it just has to stop really.
It does. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I do like the cameras. Yeah.
Yeah. So with the, and I know you like your wildlife as well. And I've seen recent videos of you obviously filming them. But what about photographing wildlife? What would be your ultimate setup, if you like, to if you money no object? What camera system would you use? So camera and lens to shoot, you know, wildlife.
Right. Well, carrying the gear about is a big deal with that wildlife. Carry on.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Yeah.
I mean, you know, you can't really just go out wandering around hoping that you're going to see something with all the equipment. You just can't do that. I've tried it. It's just too much. So you have to go out and scout out areas, and you guarantee that what you're looking for is there. It's going to be there, and then you hump the gear out, your big lens and everything like that. And what I've been carrying around is nothing to what these guys that get us, the wolves and stuff running around. There's a huge setup they're carrying around, massive camera, and it's one of them that I would like to have a go with. And if money were no object, it'd have to be, because you're talking about big money here. And I think it's a Sony Pro, and it's like, you know, the old fashioned, when camcorders first came out, you put them on your shoulder, they were small. That were classed as small then. Well, they're like that kind of size. And it's a fixed lens on it, you know, a zoom lens, and very expensive, but fixed to the camera. You're not alternate it, and it's completely waterproof, freeze-proof, everything. The batteries are massive; they run all day. That's what I would be wanting, something like that. The audio inputs and everything on there, so you can capture all the good audio. You'd have to have something like that. Yeah.
How much are they then about?
I dread to think. I hadn't really even looked it up. I mean, I've seen some of these lenses you sort of see wildlife guys using, and you see them at the sides of when there's a football match on. You see football photographers and huge lenses. You know, some of them can be about 30 grand for a lens. They're absolutely ridiculous. Most people hire them. You know, they hire insured, and they use it for that trip, and then they take it back.
Yeah, it makes sense. That makes sense.
Like ridiculous money, these lenses. Yeah. So God knows what the camera costs. One of them cameras costs a bloody fortune. Yeah. But that's what I would be looking at, something like that.
Okay. Good.
You wouldn't have all the bits and bats. You know, you get the smaller cameras, then you get, well, I'll need that, I'll need this, I'll need that. I need another 3 or 4 lenses just in case. And I need 1 million of these little batteries if I'm going on this trip, and all the other bits and bats that you add on to it. That thing, although it's quite big, it's the one thing, just that.
That's it. Yeah.
And it's 2 batteries, which will last you a fortnight. And you just got that to carry around on your big tripod, and that's it. No cases, no nothing, because the whole thing's waterproof anyway. And you just carry that around. Yeah. But I won't be doing that. Will I?
No, dream on. What's the next question then?
Right, so is it me?
What's your question?
I think we're on question 10.
Is it, or 9? Is it 10?
9.
No, 9.
Yeah, 9.
Okay,
9.
so
Yeah, question 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to say it's really good to see you in your garage, Leonard. I like this new look in the garage. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I suppose it works, doesn't it? Rather
Yeah.
than maybe potentially in my living room or study or
Ooh.
something. Yeah.
What's the story with the hats?
Oh, there.
Yeah.
Well, they're definitely not mine. The ones still left are Catherine's, and the middle ones are, and that far right one is Catherine's dad's. Catherine's dad passed away a few years ago.
Oh yes, I remember that. I remember
About 8 years ago, I think.
Right.
And he,
Okay.
yeah, that was one of his hats when he came to visit us. I think that's the
Right.
hat he bought, and Catherine asked if she could have it. So yeah,
Right.
but that's
Great.
that's the only story of one hat really. Other ones are just everyday regular summer
other
hats
ones-
for Catherine.
The other ones are yet to get a story attached to them.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
yeah.
So, question 9 to you: how do you engage with your audience? Are there any specific types of content or topics that they respond to more enthusiastically?
Well, I suppose trying to make, which isn't easy, trying to make an engaging video, so to try and draw people in to continue to watch. I think once you've got a base, if you like, I mean, I only have a very low number of subscribers, which is fine by me. They seem to like, I have less people, I think, unsubscribing. I seem to just slowly be building up with less people or no one unsubscribing. Doesn't mean they're watching, does it? But I try and make engaging videos basically, and also it depends on bikes as well. So if there's a brand of bike, I mean, obviously, as I mentioned, this is a Triumph. The other one, Catherine's, is a Yamaha. You're going to have people who are either likes those brands or dislikes it. So if I make any video about something about like my Triumph, then you're getting people commenting for certain. I've recently made a few warranty videos on the Triumph. This is a 2022 motorcycle, so it's quite new. My warranty on this just was on the verge of finishing, but I had an issue which I thought was warrantable, and Triumph didn't come to the party. So I made a few videos just about the issues I was having, really. I wasn't trying to bash Triumph. I was just trying to be making an honest video about what would make people comment, I suppose, about, you know, the warranty side of motorcycle manufacturers, let's say, as well. So that brought in a lot of comments. So anything that I can try and maybe put a perspective of for people who can engage with that or relate to something. So obviously warranty, how a motorcycle rides, what's it like just to live with. I did like basic reviews of this, well, my first GT Pro. I did some owner reviews, honest owner reviews, and they're always good. When I'm looking at motorcycles, if I'm thinking of buying one, which I am, but it's going to be, like I say, a GT Pro, so I don't really need to read up or watch any more videos about them. But just getting some knowledge on them. But I've lost my track, actually, my train of thought, Rob. What was I saying? Something about that.
Yeah, you were doing you were brand specific, you know, when you got a brand in there, you know, which this will probably help with that because you better switch. Because I find that as well. I found that with the GoPros when I was starting off with the GoPro cameras, testing microphones and stuff like that on them. Certain brands of microphone. Well, as soon as you've got a specific, a certain gadget that you're talking about, you get views. But I think I was only doing it same as you, because I was just sharing my experiences, which is good. YouTube is good for that. Saying how good this is, how it links up, and then of course I was having problems with the GoPros, which we won't go into again, and that were an ongoing thing. And just saying how I managed to fix it and get out of this problem and blah blah blah. and yeah, you get a lot of views with that because yeah, millions of people having the same issue. But I think you should definitely stick with what you're passionate about, though. Or, you know, if you don't really care that much about it, that comes across, you know, negatively. But and it's positive if you're bothered about it. The history stuff that I do, I'm just interested in it. I'm not by any means a historian or anything like that. I literally just wander around and if I see something like an old archway or something like that, I just sort of think, I wonder what that used to be. I wonder why that's there, and then I look up about it and often find nothing, so I don't get to really make a video out of it. But every now and then you find and you go, wow, that's what that was. And that sort of interests me, that sort of thing. So that's why I'm leaning more towards that sort of content. Still gets me out and about. Yeah.
Good. Well, that's it. That's good. I mean, that's why it's good to watch your stuff as well. Some people might not be able to get out and about so much. So seeing countryside, nice places, you know, a little bit like what I suppose I do. We know when I'm out on the bike, going to the countryside, it's nice to see.
Yeah, I do get some comments from people that are housebound and that, and they say they either remember walking around that area or they've just enjoyed the whole, you know, sort of virtual walk around, really. So that's quite nice when you get comments like that. Yeah. So is it my question to you, or was that my question to you?
That was I have my that was number 9, wasn't it? Oh, was it? Yeah, yours. That was your number 9 to me. So now we've just got the last question.
Yeah.
But I can't remember which way around it was. Yeah, was it me to you?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So me to you then. Yeah. All right. Well, we might have shuffled around in the order of how we've done these questions, Rob.
Yeah.
My last question is, how do you actually research for your vlogs? I know you just touched on about you'll see something, but maybe that sort of suggests that's what you do then.
Yeah, that's one of the things that it just comes to me. I'm walking around and I see, even I might be doing a video and I see something else, think, oh, what's that? What's that all about? And it's funny because a lot of the history, wherever you are in your local vicinity, the history is there in plain sight. You know, it is just there. It's right in front of you. If only you just take the time to think, what was that, or what's that area? Why is it like that? Why? And you will look into it and find nothing. But so if you do it often enough, little things, you find a gem and you go, you believe what that used to be or what happened there. Right on your doorstep in plain sight. The history is there. So that's how that's how it's usually sparked. But that spark then, it's as it sort of say, it's a real rabbit hole. Then I'm just getting a book on this, and I'm looking up this. I'm looking into old archive stuff, archive newspaper, and going back and building up something that he can put together. And it does. Some of them take quite a lot of research. Some of them take quite a lot of research and very little reward. But then some you just get a good interesting video out of it. But what I'm finding is, because I'm doing it more often, I'll later on be investigating something, and something that I've then read up of before that I thought was of no use to me, then these two overlap, and I go, well, oh, that happened when that, so he was there when this happened, and they overlap, and I go, oh God, so that wasn't a waste of time because I know about him already.
That was worth it, yeah.
You know, yeah. So I get that that happens a lot as well.
I was going to ask actually, like, this is something I've just learnt recently. I assume you don't go to libraries now, especially at Huddersfield, because isn't it closed?
Libraries.
Yeah.
Huddersfield Library, I'm not sure if it's still open.
Because I heard with the cutbacks, you know, that various councils are cutting back, that services like library services in the UK, they're getting frozen for now. They're just closing them down. I think the Huddersfield Library was actually getting renovated, was it maybe, but just didn't reopen. And maybe that's why they've slowly, quietly closed it. But that's what I heard.
Yeah. They've emptied a lot of books out of there, I know that. But
right.
Yeah. I'll just hang on a second.
What's going on?
I've got a camera that I'm just trying out as well, and it's done something a bit weird, but I can't see how I can reset it. There should be a reset there. It's got gesture controls on it, and I've noticed whilst we've been doing this, I'll probably do a video on this camera. This seems good, but it's got gesture controls on it, and when I start talking, these gesture controls are kicking in, and it's actually doing all sorts of so let me just see if I can tell it to zoom out. It should be able to. I think it might be that. Or is it that? Oh, that's it. Yeah, it did it. Yeah, it's all right now. So I think we're on this last question, aren't we?
Yeah, you to me. That's it, isn't it?
So I'm on my last question to you, Leonard. It's been great, and I hope that if you're still viewing, that one viewer still here, hanging on.
It's a record.
If you are viewing, definitely put some comments about how we've done, how amazing this video has been. What a wonderful insight into our channels, and definitely subscribe. So, final question to Leonard: look into the future. Are there any new segments or types of content that you're planning to introduce to the naked bikers?
Yes, I am going to, once we're in winter at the moment, so it rains quite a lot, even though today's quite nice. So once it's drier and a little bit warmer, I think I'm going to do a few just on my own, because the difficulty we have a dog, so me and Catherine going out together on a little tour isn't very feasible really. So I'm thinking of doing some little mini tours, like a long weekend or something, 2 or 3 nights, me relatively local, and doing some vlogs that way and just see how they go. But with you saying how much you have liked the garage, and I've had other people saying do more interactions within the garage, I think I'll do some more like install videos. They seem to do all right.
Yeah.
I've done a few various install videos, and maybe just like some basic maintenance. Like I say, I'm not a qualified mechanic or anything. I'm not clumsy. I'm not clumsy. I can manage and get myself around the bike okay. But things just like doing an oil change maybe, how I clean and grease up the chain. Everyone's again got different ideas and opinions about things like that. But I might do little basics around the bike. And yeah, maybe even just do a talking head from time to time. A little bit, maybe not so much face-to-face like what we've done today, but something like if I've got an idea for something, and rather than just be out on the bike and chatting that way, maybe just do a little bit of an alternative and being in here with something that might just spring to mind, which is motorcycle related, and do something in here maybe. So yeah, a few little ideas, but nothing major. My format's pretty much going out on the bike, having a wee chat, maybe with Catherine, maybe with another person, and just taking in the ride itself. So there'll be more of that as well. with a little bit maybe of garage action as well.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely good to have them to. You know, we got a space like that you can sit in with. You've got your instant backdrop of your channel. You know, that's great. You want to get a Naked Bikers thing on wall above hats.
I could do. Yeah,
put it on that chalk. Is it a chalkboard that?
Yeah, up there. Yeah.
Put that a bit lower and to write it on. But yeah, it's a good space to do that. I think it's great. That yeah.
Actually, people might be wondering why our channel is called The Naked Bikers. So I'll just throw that in. So,
yes, I did wonder.
Yeah. So I've shown you Catherine's bike, which is a Yamaha MT-07. That is a naked bike. So a naked bike is pretty much certainly doesn't have any fairings on it, and doesn't have big screens and stuff. So it's pretty much stripped back. So it's naked. And when we first started riding together, as in learning to ride, we both had the MT-07s. And when I started the channel, we still had the MT-07s, and then it was Catherine's idea actually. I said, I don't know what to name this channel, and it was a bit of play on Jamie Oliver's The Naked Chef. Okay. And she said, well, our bikes are naked, aren't they? So why not the Naked Bikers? And I thought, well, actually, that's pretty clever. So that's what we called it. But this is not a naked bike. This is like an adventure type bike. So it's slightly not quite right now, but you know, it is what it is.
When you first told me that you had your channel, and I asked you what it was called so that I could look it up, and when I typed in Naked Bikers into Google, well, I didn't find your channel straight away.
No.
But I eventually did find you an hour later.
Yes, amongst all those photographs of people who were naked on bikes.
I'm scarred forever. That's
oh, yeah. Well, it's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed that. We've had a bit of a chat, haven't we? And,
it's been good. It's been good to tinker about with this equipment as well, running it the way we're running it. The camera side of it and audio side of it, and we'll be sending the files to each other to edit up. And we'll make our own version of this. It's going to be very similar, but it'll be interesting to see the differences. And we may as well upload them and see where this goes, and maybe get some other people in to have a chat.
Yep. Yeah, we'll see.
See how we go with that. Right then, Leonard, it's been great.
It has. It's been really good. So for my side of things, subscribe to Mr. Rob there. His channel is Robert John Kerr, his name. Yeah.
Tis I.
Yes. So mosey over to his. Hopefully you'll see some of his videos if you've stuck to watching this video all the way through. We have mentioned some videos we've done, so maybe go and watch them now. But watch mine first, and then his.
Yeah, it's been great. So we'll wrap it up there. Definitely have a look at the Naked Bikers. Great channel, especially if you're into motorbikes and motorbike tech, and just want to have a bit of a cruise around Australia. Perth, is it Perth?
Perth, Western Australia. Yep.
Western Australia. So you'll get to see bits of that as Leonard cruises around there. Talking about whatever's going on in his world that day. And,
in my little head.
And I'll definitely be tuning into that. As regards me, thanks for watching. I actually don't know where I'll be next, but one thing I do know is I want you with me. So until the next one, bye.
Bye. So thanks for watching. If you've watched all the way through, very much appreciated. If you want to see Rob's version of his 10 questions and answers, pop over to his channel. He'll very much appreciate it. And again, thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.